when I was 16 years of age, a man was very much desiring my body, me, my company. I wasn't interested in this man. He kept pressing his way to the point that he decided to violently take what he wanted. That meant he was raping me and was attempting to murder me. So literally, he was in the process of killing me. Now, I'm going to jump to the end before I come back to what happened within the incident. I had a very different level of experience with that. Nonetheless, I still recognised that the action through his state of forgetting is what it is. And every one of us must become conscious of what we are living, what we are acting, in order to attain a state of wholeness. So we must take responsibility for that. Nonetheless, for me, it was a very interesting process of having a bigger picture in approaching that. Because in the experience for me, as I was being murdered, I was in a state, because I saw the body was about to die, I drew upon my powers of meditation and concentration. I came into life with an ability at that level. And in this circumstance, I knew that if I didn't draw on those powers, that I was literally going to die, leave the planet. And what happened through that power of centering was such a profound, direct state in the actual playing out of the events that I saw nothing but oneself. I realised it was myself. There was only one life. It was the all-presence of life. And I could see that this man was acting from a state that he was divided from that awareness, that it was a part of myself, a part of God, forgetting himself as love. Having forgotten that love, he was in such a state of pain that he was willing to violate to try to heal that pain. That's how sick the human mind is in that state of forgetting. So in that recognition, as I saw that this man was in such a state of forgetting and so broken that he did not know love, he did not know he is loved, he is lovable. He had never experienced that love in his life. The love that I felt for him was absolutely indescribable. It really was like an endless ocean of love. And I prayed that he could remember and know this love. The room lit up with angels, and that man dropped to his knees and became the saviour. He stopped murdering me. That is the power of love as a state. Now, as I say, of course, the experience didn't stop there. This man, having stopped, he looked up and he said, "Oh my God, what have I done? I'm killing an angel." He picked up my body, took me to the phone, dialed emergency. The words just fell out of my mouth. And then, of course, I went unconscious at that point. Now, he, having realised, like come to his senses, realised actually what he was doing, did a runner. I was left in the situation where after that, miraculously my body healed. I'm not scarred. What you should see before you is a very scarred woman, not just physically speaking either. But of course, the whole process meant that the police wanted to press charges, there was a warrant out for his arrest, etc. So I was walking this tightrope on this experience, feeling, this is just so interesting. I do not feel 1 degree of judgment for this man. I really contemplated this. I didn't even feel anything to forgive. I saw and knew the purity of his soul and the innocence of his act, and all I could feel was this love and compassion. Yet here was society saying, this is an act that we cannot condone. I knew it's an act we cannot condone. So in that process, I still acknowledged that this man must face the consequences of his own actions as well. And that is his passage in his process of awakening. So one could say, well, is that an intervention then? Is that intervention then one of judgment? Others, the way they were administering it or wanting to administer it, maybe. From my heart, it was not about administering a judgment. It was about recognising the conscious process of cause and effect, and that we all face those consequences. So to see another violating someone and to bring conscious awareness to that situation does not have to be coming from a place of judgment at all. It can still be from a place of love. And interestingly, what happens when it is coming from that place of love, what follows is very different than the usual penitentiary system of hardcore judgment. Even if a person ends up in jail, if how they have been delivered to that place has involved loving awareness, their process is going to be very different.